is me, and this is Laith SocialStreamers, if that is his real name. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling disciplined, 125%, like the Prussians. I really wanted this win. About a year ago, the folks over at Speed 5, who were fresh on the grand strategy scene when I arrived, reached out with an offer I couldn't refuse. Hey, it's Cara. Fancy round of EU4 duels? So I said, sure, why not? And then they said, you're up against Laith in a 1v1 EU4 competition. And I said, oh, great. Laith is a professional EU4 video game player behind the YouTube channel SocialStreamers. Seriously, he plays this game like every day. He probably has like 10,000 hours more than me in this game altogether. He even got a girlfriend because of it, and good for him, like unironically. That's great. For context, I'm famously either not good or unlucky at EU4, depending on who you ask. I mean, I'm obviously no match, really, for a guy with a track record like this, but I really wanted to prove that I do belong in this community. I really wanted this win, not just for bragging rights, but to prove a point. David versus Goliath, or me versus my cat every night when she attacks me for food. And we're friends behind the scenes and everything. So I don't want to misconstrue this as this being anything other than obviously a friendly competition, but especially as a woman in this community, I really just wanted people's respect. I just really wanted to be liked and to feel like I belong.
I'm Knur, this is Lady Magnus.
Hello.
And you are, for the first time ever, watching Speed 5, Cara versus Laith from the SocialStreamers.
That is very exciting.
It's very exciting.
So exciting.
So how did it end up working out for me? The VOD of this hasn't even seen the light of day anywhere, so you'll have to let me tell you about it instead. As crazy as it sounds, while everyone thought I would lose this competition, I went into this with a sneaky little plan to try to pull out a W out of this. They said it was a huge mismatch, and it was. They said I'd be outplayed, and maybe I would be. But I never step back from a challenge. I step up.
Maybe we should invite the players onto the show, say hi and discuss the challenge.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello there. Yeah, look, I've got my jumper ready, so I'm like, when I win, I'll be wearing this.
That's
and
amazing.
Then you can all congratulate me.
After some friendly hellos and a few threats, it was all starting to set in at this point. I had started to realize what I was actually up against. While I did have a strategy, I don't think I was prepared for what was gonna go down. First of all, this is all set up by Speed 5, who also sponsored this video. I love Speed 5 because they're making competitive grand strategy a thing. They're backed by Paradox Interactive, and they're all about bringing together all of our favorite creators for high-octane competitions. Hit up the link in the description to check out their Twitch channel and their ongoing EU4 Master Series, where Laith is currently tearing it up over there too. Now, I was going to compete against Laith in the Italian Trade Challenge.
Let's quickly go over what today's challenge is. We are playing Italian trade. Cara and Laith on their own, in their own games course, have to try and maximize the trade nodes of Genoa and Venice. You also get to pick your own starting nation. We are starting at game start.
I picked the Republic of Venice. Venice has some pretty good trading ideas. I can hopefully like dev up enough and make enough plays geopolitically to put Venice's trade node in a pretty good position. We were both on separate instances of EU4 playing as Venice, with the singular goal of growing Venice's trade node as much as possible.
Laith, how about you? Strategy?
Yeah, same nation, not because of the same reasons. I just like the color.
Course.
That's the only reason. Yeah. I think that'll just carry me, just like morale-wise.
We've asked Count Christo and Ludi at Historia to talk us through this. How are you guys doing?
I'm good, apart from the missing frames.
I'm really good as well. I just finished stealing all of Count Christo's frames, so I got double the power now.
Guys, can I get your input on this first challenge? What are you expecting to see? They both picked Venice.
Venice seems like the obvious pick. They have the reach, basically only them and Genoa have at the start.
It was a really good challenge, and I do remember preparing for this competition. And since so much of trade is about trade steering and trying to steer as much trade as possible towards your trade node, I had a pretty detailed plan of what I was going to do to take as much trade as possible.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trade map mode right now, and they're getting They got 21 ducats value in the two Italian nodes to start with. And the goal is to crank that up as high as possible. I don't think there's almost anything to be gained from expanding in Italy. What I'm really looking forward to is this kind of bizarre mode of play where they're forced to kind of rapidly expand in all directions without home region consolidation.
And so with that, we got started.
All right, rock and roll. Time starts now. 90 minutes, remember, is the time.
Pressure makes diamonds, after all. Plan of what I was going to do to try to take as much trade for myself as possible, including fighting the Byzantines, getting a lot of loans to really galley spam around my trade node at the end, and going into huge debt with advisors just to dev up as much as I possibly could. So I was feeling pretty confident. I was pretty sure that Laith's strategy wasn't as intense as mine, but you never know.
They've only got 90 minutes. The trade value of the other nodes is not going to go up too much. If they get to 40, that's the equivalent of getting all the money in Constantinople, Alexandria, Ragusa, and Crimea. So that's, I mean, even that would be pretty good, I think. Yes, indeed, there is an immediate alliance with Austria and a rival of Byzantium. I think I may have called it.
I was feeling like if I just played my cards right and I just struck at the right places, I actually had a pretty good chance of winning, I thought. But then we also got a pretty severe twist right before the show started.
We are forcing them to play on speed 3. When we presented the challenge to them yesterday, we all planned for them to be able to play up to speed 5. So there might be some change of plan based on their strategy and that kind of stuff, because we told them this like an hour ago.
So this is the very first speed 5 event, and I guess because of the connection or whatever computers they ended up using, we are going to be limited to speed 3 the entire game, which is all kind of ironic for a company called Speed 5, but I digress. Given that my whole strategy was around making the right moves and having as much time elapse as possible, I was beginning to lose hope here. But if I know anything about Laith, I know that he can also be pretty impatient too. And I thought maybe if he made a couple of mistakes here or there and I just kept playing all my cards right, I still had a pretty good chance of winning.
There's a risk though, right? Because the Ottomans, if we take a look from the Ottomans' perspective, the Ottomans do have, of course, the mission straight up to go after Constantinople. So if they do that early, then if that got sniped off them, that would definitely weaken their position.
Cara is pretty strong. Okay, so Laith went for Cyprus as well.
Oh, big armies being raised up by Laith right now.
Locked at speed 3, both of us knew that every action, every decision carried a lot of weight. Every decision could be a step toward victory or a stumble into a setback of some kind.
Right. I think she might be going to war soon though, because she just recruited 4,000 units and she sold titles for the extra money.
Classic.
It's a really weird start. I think she's up to something. I'm curious what she is up to something.
My strategy was to outmaneuver the competition. In the early game, I eyed for Byzantium, a ripe target for a quick expansion that could give me the edge I needed if I could just pull that trade over from Constantinople.
Ready to move in, it looks like, and the Ottomans do also have a claim on Constantinople. So the race is on. There's the war declaration on Byzantium as Laith prepares to move in to Athens, but he needs to get someone on Constantinople soon. Otherwise, we're going to start having problems.
Just as you said that, Cara also declared.
Okay.
Exactly at the moment.
Fairly symmetrical so far.
Declared.
Byzantium was the prize, and I was aiming for it with all my might. And unfortunately, since it's obviously the best move that we could have gone for as Byzantium, Laith also had the same exact play in mind. So we were basically just playing copycat.
The good thing is that on Cara's side, the Ottomans have not yet declared war, so she still has a lot of time. And the Byzantines are at war with Epirus, and she cannot get the lead of that particular siege right now.
On my end so far, it looks like Laith's trying to save cash. We did, however, just see the Ottomans call in Moldova successfully on my end, and thereby achieve naval supremacy over Venice, which is not a great start for Laith on this war. He has already got the troops in the place where he needs them, so it's not the end of the world.
Cara also is just landing on Constantinople right now, and I think she's got this in the bag.
It takes a while to land. No, she's in there.
She's confident, though. You can tell she's confident. She doesn't even have a general. She's like, I can do this. I don't need a general for this. On my side, she did ally, Cara did ally Austria and Poland, so she has her back secured. If anything happens, she's probably going to be gunning for the Ottomans. Yes, I'm guessing because of this alliance that she will mainly focus on attacking the Ottomans and getting back the cause.
While Laith's conquering of Byzantium went pretty swift and pretty easily for him, the unpredictable nature of RNG had some other plans for me.
Oh, we have a peace deal on my end. He took Athens and Constantinople, vassalized the rest, and of course, therefore, has all those cores, but no war with the Ottomans.
Oh, if we switch over to Kara's side, sorry for jumping in, the war with the Ottomans just started, and it's an interesting one, because not only did she vassalize Byzantium, but she directly took ownership of Constantinople and the one province in Achaia. So she's at war with Epirus. Remember that Epirus also declared war prior to the Byzantines. And she has to fight both the Epirites as well as the Ottomans. However, she does not have the Austrians and the Poles in the war.
No!
Quickly. This is painful. This is very much painful for the Venetian army.
I am nothing if not a very unlucky EU4 player, just in general. So my initial assault on Byzantium just didn't work, just because of some annoying RNG.
The Austrians literally scammed the Venetians right now. This is something they're going to talk about for centuries. The reason why Venice and Austria has always been at war and at odds with each other because of this particular run right here. I'm telling you, it's got to be something.
It's going to last.
But in EU4, a setback is sometimes just an opportunity in disguise.
That's a tough trade. Ouch. That is a very tough trade.
It's a very difficult spot. It's a very difficult spot.
I would honestly, in this situation, I'd say it's better to just restart.
I really wanted to hold off on restarting because I knew that if I did that, it would be inevitable that I would lose with the amount of time I had lost with my first run. So I decided to just press on.
It's going to need some kind of pivot from Cara to be able to pull this back. I feel like still the kind of Granada play is not out of the question, and then there could be some North African conquest potentially. We are now 25 minutes in, so time is not great.
I would adapt my strategy and find any new pathways to power that I could. And I thought if I just kept playing and I made the right moves, I might still be able to find a way to win.
But that would be a little bit of a long play. I think there's a lot of reconstruction to be done after this first war against the Ottomans. And massive kudos to Cara for not restarting after all of this. Most players, I think 90% of player base, would actually restart after this. So that shows that she's got more bowls than most of the EU4 player base.
It was time to innovate, to craft a strategy on the fly that Laith wouldn't see coming. With Byzantium's gates closed to me, I turned my sights to the Balkans. If I couldn't secure Eastern riches, I'd create more of a Western empire that was just as large and devved up as possible, that it could compete with all of that trade steering that Laith was going to be doing.
I would get another army and I would attack Naples, which only has 16,000 units, take a couple of provinces from Naples, and then use that as a launching platform to attack into North Africa. That is option one. Option two is get an alliance with Naples and instead attack Serbia and get back at the Ottomans with the foothold, proper foothold in Serbia, and use the alliance with the Austrians and the Poles. For that, I would also use, I would curry favors with the Poles and with the Austrians to make sure that I have the favors to ask them to join in the war.
And here they are, storming in. Only 17,000 have come in first. Laith is focusing on typing in chat rather than marshalling his armies, which is pretty funny. They've pushed into Constantinople. They appear to be immediately realizing their mistake and retreating. Venetians, 26,000 men are between them. I'd love to see this. Naxos is just storming around Anatolia, sieging stuff unopposed, which is great. But, I mean, against 17,000 Ottomans, he can win the fight, but he's got low manpower, none, in fact. And let's take a look at techs here. Yeah, Ottomans have tech 4, whereas he is still at tech 3. Okay. See, we'll see. He has, however, managed to call in Austria now. Nice. Okay, so Austria is now in on the war. He probably, yes, he spent favors to accomplish that, it looks like. A wall breach, 7% chance of victory. I think he's paused and considering peace, is my theory right now. And there it is. Okay, interesting. He's taken the natural harbor himself, rather than handing it over to Byzantium, probably so that he can try and upgrade the quality of that harbor, get some more transfers of trade downstream, pull more wealth out of Crimea and Aleppo. He didn't take a province to Bulgaria from, which is interesting. That surprises me.
While Laith was fortifying his trade steering empire, I looked westward. My fleets patrolled the Adriatic, my diplomats had a web of alliances with all sorts of different countries, and I managed to secure a bunch of trade agreements with little countries all around the Mediterranean. I was building not just a state, but I was building a narrative, an underdog fighting back against the odds. Laith may have had the upper hand here, but I was not out of the game, not by a long shot. As the mid-game approached, the Mediterranean became a chessboard, with trade routes as the squares upon which the game was played. Laith had his strategy ironed out, but I thrive in chaos, using it as a crucible for my mates. I'm such a dork.
Kara's side here, if we switch on over, she just stack wiped the entirety of Naples' army, and she's going to siege the capital of Naples, which has 0 soldiers right now. I'm guessing she's going to bring some more units to siege down Naples because she needs 9,000 units to siege the capital. And the economy, let's see what her economy situation is like. She has 1 loan. Oh, no, sorry. She has 28 loans. My bad. 28 loans. No, she can still do that. She can go up to... Well, I mean,
yeah,
we can go up to 82 loans. So
yeah,
she's not going to. 82 loans.
Loans were a tool, not a trap, to fuel my ambitions. With each ducat borrowed, I invested in a future where I could maybe, just maybe, pull out a victory. And I was having a good time, even if I thought that it was maybe a long shot at this point for me to end up getting the victory.
If we switch on over to Cara for a little bit here, Cara just did her peace deals. She took the city of Ragusa directly, and she also took a big chunk out of Naples.
I thought if I maybe could do something that'd give me a good foothold somewhere else to steer a bunch of trade towards Venice, it would really help me out. And even though I was still close, it might even be able to help me catch up and be in the lead with all of the dev and everything else I had been doing. And believe it or not, I had actually started to catch up. We were neck and neck.
Yeah, so it's not as grim as it seems, right? We went up by 2.2 ducats since the start, which, considering the bad war with the Ottomans,
yeah, not bad.
Surprising. Yeah, definitely. Very, very good.
We hop over to Laith's perspective, though. Things aren't looking so great for that war. We do have a revolution in Venice right now. So he has to choose between abdicating, losing stability, and a massive loss of influence for the guilds, or a huge stability hit and a 14 stack rising up against him, as well as a big loss in Republican tradition. That's it's a pretty nasty event to get when you're trying to declare war. He's also got a bunch of rebels rising up against him. Laith's early game RNG is not continuing so far. I'm curious. I imagine he's going to try and take it on the chin and fight down the revolution. The goods produced modifier from the guilds was doing nice work for him, but without that, he's down to 16 ducats. Chat, you only need to have as high as possible trade power right at the end, as long as they can have it cranked right up at the end. But right now, they're probably looking pretty even.
Laith definitely had other things in the works.
It's looking like that is the final play here. Yeah, cash being spent left and right, trade center going up 3 for as many as he can. Of course, with only 4 merchants, he can only have 4 level 3 centers of trade. So he's doing his best there. Yeah, 1 extra merchant there, coming in with a final pause, 25 seconds on the clock. He's got a merchant spare. In terms of the trade power we got on our end, on Laith's perspective, we have 32.8 in Venice and 14.48 for a total of 46.18.
Cara has 16.1 in the Genoa node, and she has another 12.4 in the Venice node. So a total of 28.4.
And after that starts, I mean, that's still a respectable score.
Yeah.
Very much.
I think that's massively respectable. Most players would quit in the first place, and she managed to bump it up by an extra 6 or actually 8 ducats from the start. So it's really well done.
And because of everything at the end of the game, I wasn't able to compete with Laith's ultimate trade node size. But I do feel a lot better knowing that some of it was just dumb RNG bad luck, that I was still able to have a game that came down right to the wire. I'm still really happy with how this event turned out, because I think I earned their respect.
Great job to both players. I think they did amazing based on their situations. They molded themselves on their RNG, and that's what really matters. That's what makes a good player.
I think they saw saw me as a certifiable threat to maybe take this competition, who wasn't going to be a pushover and who kept it close to the very end. And that's all that matters to me.
Let's bring them in. And first of all, we have to say, well played, both of you.
Very well done.
But Laith does have the sweater on.
I do. I made my promise. It's boiling in here, but, you know, I've got to represent the brand.
Check out Speed 5, link in the description. And thank you to all the channel members too who support this channel every month. You know I love you a lot. I really appreciate the support. And thank you everyone else for watching. Mwah.